I'm Anna.
And I'm Emily, and we're the hosts of Terribly Famous, a new podcast from Wondery.
From Adele to Victoria Beckham and Lily Allen, we take you inside the drama-filled lives of our most talked-about celebrities to find out what it's like to walk in their shoes.
She means their beautiful Prada shoes.
Listen to Terribly Famous wherever you get your podcasts.
Happens when there's so much that happens. Watch what happens. Who cares what happens when there's so much that happens?
Well, hello and welcome to Watch What Crappens, the podcast about all that crap we love to talk about on Yale Profs. I'm Ronnie. Hi, everybody. Welcome Ben, please. Ben, welcome to the show.
Hi, Ronnie. How's it going?
So good, guys. We had our maiden voyage of Crappy Hour, our bi-weekly, or bi-monthly, I guess I should say, Monday night party with you guys on Instagram. So that was really fun. Thanks to everybody who came out. There were almost 1,000 of you there. I had a great time laughing with you guys. That's like a live call-in show. It's the first and third Monday of every month on Instagram Live. If you want to watch that still on Instagram Live, please feel free to do so. It is there on our profile grid. Our plan was to release it as an audio episode, but we've got to get some more professional audio plans going on before that happens. So if you do want to watch it, go check out our Instagram. You should be on our Instagram anyway. How about that?
Yeah.
How about that,
Watch
guys?
what crappens. Yeah.
Yes. Also, we did the I've Had It podcast with the ladies of Sweet Home, Oklahoma, Jennifer and Pumps. They were hilarious. They were so gracious to have us on there. It was so great to meet them. We laughed our ass off for a solid hour. It released today. So go over to their podcast, subscribe, listen, tell them Crappin sent you. Ding. I've Had It. Okay. That's what it's called.
So good.
Which, how fitting. I mean, how perfect of a podcast for us who bitch about things all day. Ben, what say you? What's going on in your life?
Oh, my God. Well, what is going on? I mean, yeah, you mentioned all the big things, and now we have this Below Deck doubleheader episode, which was really intense. I mean, the first hour was fairly standard Below Deck for the first like 45 minutes or so, but then everything after that, it's like, oh my goodness. So this is it was Bravo released it as one big episode, but it was really two episodes. So this is gonna be the first recap, and we'll have the second recap up like ASAP right afterwards. But wow, I was floored. And then on top of that, so we took these notes. I was like, I was up so late taking notes on these shows because I was like, I couldn't believe what I was watching. I was like, oh my God, this is insane. I was compelled. I was like crying. I was laughing. Everything was like a disaster. And then afterwards, I took my notes for Dwell Hello, which is going to be going up. I don't know when I don't know if it's this week or next week because of our Dwell Hello schedule, but we're going to adjust that because it's going to be Dwell Hello alternating with Crappy Hour. But Dwell Hello was the episode that we watched. I personally thought it was so funny, and it was like the perfect thing after watching this Below Deck because I was emotionally drained after these episodes. What about you?
It was a lot. Yeah, it was a lot. I think emotionally drained is the way to go. A lot of feelings. So let's just jump right into it, shall we? Okay.
Yeah, let's
I want
do
to save
it.
my opinions for when they're actually needed, I guess, during the episode. Not before, because I feel like if I don't really just stick to what happened in the show, I'll just start going crazy on every little thing, you know. But God, lots of villains, lots of people taken care of as well in one episode. And then this season flipped it all on its head again. I mean, this show, pretty incredible, I have to say. And I saw, you've noticed that it's our friend Nadine who produces this show, right?
Yeah.
Which is crazy. So I loved that. So I was also really proud of her. So shout out to Nadine Rajabi. We love you, baby. We still love you over here, baby. So I was really kind of proud of her, too, because she's the one running that room. You know what I mean? And sending those cameramen in there, I presume.
Yeah.
I haven't talked to her, but that is her job. She's the showrunner. So wow, what a show. Let's just get right into it. So previously, Harry in a Speedo, laughing goofily, okay? Luke was pretty rapey. That's before even knowing what really happens in this episode. I just put Luke is rapey, okay? Which has been pretty much the opinion all along.
Yeah.
And it's also a standard opinion on these shows, which this is kind of a turning point, I think, in these shows where this was kind of turned on its head finally. And someone said, this is enough of this shit, okay? Just because you're on international waters does not mean you don't have to go by the rest of the world's rules, you motherfucking pigs, okay?
Yeah. Luke has already shown signs of terribleness before this episode even aired. Also, I forgot what I was going to say. I was going to say something probably about Luke and whatever. But, I was going to say I was honestly a little shocked and I was a little disappointed personally in Bravo, that Bravo did not put up a content warning on this episode, because I felt really terrible for people who have gone through like deeply traumatic experiences that were depicted on this show and were kind of blindsided by it, because I think that's really hard for people. And I was surprised that the network did not throw something on the screen, and I think they should be more thoughtful about that going forward.
I mean, shit, Netflix warns me when people are going to smoke.
Yeah.
So then let's start. First night, Serena's just in the kitchen because she has realized that not eating red meat includes tomahawk steaks.
Yeah. Simpler
and
times.
Lamb. Okay, apparently it includes all sorts of animals that she didn't really think about. I think she thinks red meat is just like Republican cows.
Yeah, she really messed this one up. This is like going back to this part of the show. It's like, oh my God, remember when we only had to focus on the fact that like there's meat being served to vegetarians? So, she's like, I fucked up. Two of them don't even eat red meat, and I'm about to serve them steak. I just want this day to be over. Oh my goodness. And then we cut to Aesha in the dining room. Again, she goes up to one of the women who doesn't eat red meat and goes, okay, so for the next course, there's tomahawk and lobster, so you're not going to have the tomahawk. No, Aesha. She will not have the tomahawk.
It's just a hawk named Tom. Is that considered meat?
Are you sure you don't want red? What if we give you the largest, most symbolic reference to meat there possibly could be? Would you eat it then?
Mm-hmm. And Jason is checking on Serena, and he's like, everything going all right in here? And she's like, oh, no, it's really not going all right in here. You know, now I'm going to make them a salad, but of course they're probably going to hate blue cheese as well. Yeah, why are you putting the most controversial cheese on a salad as well? I mean, I feel like you're just daring. Is there a more fuck you kind of a cheese than a blue cheese? I don't think so. I think there's no other cheese that says fuck you quite like blue cheese to people who don't like it. I love blue cheese. I'm a huge blue cheese fan.
But people, it's divisive.
I'll even eat a wedge salad, the worst salad in the world. I'll eat because there's blue cheese on it.
Well, also, what was up with this salad? It sort of looked like it came from a neighborhood bar and grill kind of place like Applebee's. It was like big floppy butter lettuce and hard-boiled eggs and then giant chunks of blue cheese. I was just was it really? I seem to remember.
Schwaz. There's just a no and a schwaz.
Yeah.
Okay, ma'am.
No. It's not doing it for me.
But you know, if you work out a lot, there were a lot of hard-boiled eggs, and they weren't
eggs.
They weren't even like, oh, look at these nice sliced boiled eggs. They were half hard-boiled eggs just shoved on top of tomatoes with blue cheese. And listen, I love a salad and I love some blue cheese. I don't know what the fuck this was, but I was cracking up watching it.
It looked literally like a platter of hard-boiled eggs served with like a garnish of butter lettuce. I'm not even being facetious. It looked legitimately crazy. But luckily, Zarina has red snapper and lobster, so she is able to serve that to the people who don't eat red meat. But then another hurdle, which is that Renee, the primary, he likes his meat medium, so he sends his meat back. So Zarina's just basically falling apart on all fronts.
Yeah, and Jason's like, oh, this is a big mistake. This is a basic reading of the preference sheets kind of mistake. Basic Chiffre 101. And then we see a close-up of the preference sheet, which does indeed say tomahawk medium. And Jason is like, she better get her shit together. Our tips are based on this. This cannot happen again. But then it comes out okay. To me, it's okay, everybody. His meat's fine.
Yeah.
So Aesha checks on Serena, and she's like, who am I going to blame? Me. That's it. So she She does a cake thing. She whips out a cake from the fridge. Now,
Redemption
we've had cake on here before with that creepy, weird, fucking obsessive, abusive, like borderline abusive guy from last season, Dave from Below Deck Med. Yeah. So his thing was glazing cakes. He loved a mirror glaze on cakes. Serena's thing is a see-through. It's like an icing around, but where it's not solid and you can see through to the cake layer. It's like
a naked cake.
Is that what it's called?
It's called a naked cake.
So it's on purpose because it looks like people who are too lazy to do a coat of primer on a wall and just throw up one coat of paint, of dark paint on a white wall. That's what it looks like.
It's like it's a trendy kind of thing for people who I believe don't actually eat cakes, because we all know if there's space for frosting, you put frosting there. I actually even tried to make a naked cake this past weekend, mainly because I didn't have enough frosting. So I was like, well, I guess I'll make this a naked cake. And it just looked bonkers. And generally, I think like the walls are there for frosting.
I mean, I've had naked cake. I've had cake naked. Often. And unfortunately, I live in a house with a lot of windows that when the lights are on inside are reflective. So that wasn't the best experience. So I'm traumatized by that. Okay, so then everyone is singing to Elmer because it's his birthday. And then Renee just shoves his face down in the cake because, guys, they're wacky solar people. And apparently that's how they do birthdays in solar. Okay.
Oh my goodness. Literally my least favorite thing is when people shove people's faces into cakes. Like at weddings, at birthdays, and Zarina was like, well, this meal was a disaster, but at least I can wow them with my cake. And you see her, she's like, no, my beautiful cake. And they show a montage of how she started at 9 a.m. making it, and all day long she kept on going and doting on it and making it prettier and prettier. And then they just shoved their faces in it, and she was like, no.
Yeah, she was really upset, and I don't blame her. So Culver does dishes for her, and she like loves him because who wouldn't love that, you know?
Yeah.
But I feel like Culver wouldn't keep doing the dishes forever. I feel like that's his way of flirting and ingratiating himself. It's like almost like he thinks crunches aren't enough, which, by the way, they are. You're gorgeous. And thank you, camera people, for just continuing to linger on Culver's body throughout this whole episode. This whole episode, they're like, guys, trauma ahead. Let's take a moment and just stare at Culver's body in underwear. Okay, let's back to the trauma.
Trauma ahead. It's like it's like that part in like the Disney ride where everything's nice and happy before they turn off the lights and plunge you up and down, things.
Right, when it's like
trauma ahead.
Tick.
It's like when Mr. Toad's
right
Wild
before
Ride.
the roller coaster, like the final ticks, right when it's slowing down right before it goes down.
It's like the happy parts in Splash Mountain when all the rabbits are playing around before. Like Disney always does that. It plunges you into darkness, and then maybe they'll put on a black light and make everything psychedelic, and you're like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah.
So yeah, this is the nice part. Trauma ahead. So look at Culver's abs. Also, I do believe that.
But yeah, I believe that he
does
would quit
dishes.
doing dishes. No, I don't.
I think he will, because I think his mom Kim has trained him that he only gets food if he does her dishes. So I think it's part of his nature now.
But I think he'll only do it if he's going to marry you. Like, I think that when you're dating him, he'll just stop doing dishes. Like, that's how he shows if he's into you or not. He's only going to give you what he gives the love of his life, his mother Kim, Chef Kim. He's only going to give you the same respect if he's completely in love with you, like he is with his mom.
Yeah. Now, elsewhere in the kitchen, in the galley, so Luke and Margot are standing by the leftover cake, and Luke goes, "Oh, there's a fucking hair on the cake." So I start to write a joke in my notes saying like, "Oh, he's going to try to make out with a cake," because I figured because that was the line he used in like the first episode or the second episode,
right?
When
you got
he
an
planted
eyelash.
one.
Right.
He planted one on Margot in a totally gross way. And so I was just like joking that he was going to use this as an excuse to do something violating, because I thought like it was a joke, because clearly there was a hair on it because they just shoved someone's face in the cake.
I was laughing because I thought you meant like, oh, it has hair. It's like human enough to fuck it, you know?
Oh, no, I just meant like he was using his patented line that he uses so that way he can like make out with the cake. But instead, I'm just thinking, oh, it'll be a joke. But then he like grabs Margot by the back of the head and tries to shove her face into the cake. And she's able to pull back in time. But it was unsettling. It did not feel like, oh, this is a funny cake moment, this is a funny flirty moment. First of all, you're working, so she would have had like cake on her face and has to go like deal with the clients. And second of all, there was something like, it was very uninvited. There was something about it that already I was like, this guy has fucking boundary issues.
Yeah. And then he forces a kiss on her cheek after. So then it's sleep time.
Yeah.
And Harry's on night duty, lots of deck cleaning. Now it's the next day. Everybody's waking up, and there's a storm coming in. Sandy's favorite show to watch on the TV, the wind coming in. And this is wind from Greece, because it's like a pink lady wind. It's just a big blob of pink. And it's like, it's going to score tonight. It's like coming in, the pink ladies. And he's like, what are we going to do? The pink lady wind is coming in.
And yeah, Jason's checking the weather and everything. And then Margot sees Harry downstairs in the crew mess, and she's like, oh, hey, good morning. And they hug. It's like, did you have coffee? She's like, yeah. Without me? Yeah, I had to chug it. Yeah, really exciting story, huh? Anyway, get to work, because I'm going to go take a real quick poop. Things happen quickly when you chug that coffee, it turns out.
So Serena's talking to Aesha, and she's like, all right, today we're doing a Mexican bagel. And I know the principal is going to ask for a veggie omelette, so I already made the mix for that. Then I made a mix for a pancake with banana, because everybody wants something different. And Jason's like, you okay? It's like, yes, she's made a fucking Las Vegas buffet, okay?
I know.
My God, I wish I had a chef that fucked up, because I would love waking up to just a binge like that.
Yeah,
I mean,
apology breakfast.
As a person with binge eating disorder, I was like, God, I'm in love with you. I'll do your dishes. Fuck, I'll do your dishes. I love you.
Serena's like, oh no, I just realized my bagels are just tomahawk steaks with holes cut out the center. You think they'll eat that?
Sure you can't eat tomahawk steaks with holes cut in the center of them?
We put Philadelphia cream cheese and guacamole on it to make it Mexican, but also bagel.
So Luke is complaining to the guys that they can't see reef sharks because the weather's not on their side. So they're going to play Flip Cup instead. So everybody loves their huge breakfast. And Jason calls Luke and Aesha to the bridge to tell them they've got to get it together because it's windy, it's rainy. Back to the dock.
Yeah. Inconvenience we can deal with. Dangerous. We have to have other options. We're going straight out to the jaws of the monster. So the plan is basically to get the guests wasted, and then they will break the news to them that, sorry, we have to go back to the dock. So they set up flip cup and all that stuff.
So Adam sees Harry and he's like, so how's it like always being so tall and talking funny? Do everyone's laugh like you all the times like me? Because you're funny. You're so tall, stupid. And Harry's like, yes, the weather's way better up here when you're tall. You're hilarious. I don't even understand was that English? Fucking funny talking tall person.
Talking tallies. So,
it's time for a commercial. It's time for a Crappens.
Ronnie and Ben here. This segment of Watch What Crappens is brought to you by Audible's new music competition podcast, Breakthrough.
it's like changing the game for audio-only series by being the first of its kind and by stripping away the superficial. The series is like really reaffirming what matters most, which is pure talent. So, what do you get when you throw a real housewife, a freelance songwriter, and an auto-tune producer in a recording studio?
Well, thanks to Extreme Auto-Tune, you get a bop that Bravo fans will be pumping up on their playlist for years to come. To name a few, Sheena Shea from Vanderpump Rules has Good as Gold, Kim Zolciak-Biermann from Real Housewives of Atlanta has Tardy for the Party, and Melissa Gorga from Jersey has On Display. Whoa, 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 the ring doesn't mean a thing. Whoa, 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 whoa.
Okay, well, maybe we should leave the real singing to the professionals, like the talent in Audible's new podcast series, Breakthrough. Rod and I have been binging this singing competition contest, and the singing and songwriting on it has been next level stellar.
1,000%. And the finale brought us to tears. So many emotions. We're just completely blown away by all these 5 artists and their raw talent.
Yeah, and it's like really cool. They all have different personal and musical backgrounds. Like there's country, there's Caribbean, there's Cuban, and their backgrounds just like they really shine through during these songwriting challenges.
It's been incredible to witness them dig deep and push themselves to the next level, because the coaches really aren't just there to say like, you're good, or, that was pitchy. They're really trying to develop them and their voice into their own artistic creation. It's pretty cool.
Oh my God. Check it out yourself. You can listen and catch up on the latest episodes on Audible or wherever you get your podcast.
Go to audible.com/crappens. That's audible.com/crappens.
If you're hiring, it's incredibly hard to attract top talent. And with the current labor market conditions, it's even harder than ever. That's why you want a partner who gets it. ZipRecruiter.
You know who knows how tough it is right now? ZipRecruiter does. But guess what? They figured out solutions for the problems that you're facing.
See for yourself. Right now, you can try them for free at ZipRecruiter.com/crappens.
ZipRecruiter is ready to tackle your recruiting challenges.
Yeah, to reach more of the right people, ZipRecruiter posts your job to over 100 job sites.
And listen, the pricing at ZipRecruiter is straightforward. There are no surprise costs.
Yeah, want first dibs on talent? ZipRecruiter lets you invite the most qualified people to apply for your job.
Team up with a hiring partner who understands what you need. ZipRecruiter.
4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day.
Just go to this exclusive web address to try ZipRecruiter for free. ZipRecruiter.com/crappens.
Again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/crappens.
ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire.
Commercial.
Meanwhile, Laura is still on a mission to use fresh squeezed lime juice for these margaritas, but she's not using a reamer or anything. She's just using her fingers to squeeze out whatever she can from these limes. So she's really going the most inefficient way at doing the lime juice.
Limes
thing.
are
even
fucking monsters, okay? I don't even know. I feel like God did that on purpose. You know how like a lot of things, it's like no pain, no gain. You can't get a vegetable unless you really try really hard and work through the rocks of the soil and water it and all that. It's like limes. It's like, wow, I'm going to make the most delicious margarita in the world. The most delicious drink in the world, the margarita, and I'm going to force people to use stupid fucking little stoned things that you have to use 80 just to make one margarita. Well, good one, Heaven. Good one.
Well, I agree. Limes can be really terrible in that way, but that's why you have to get like a reamer or a squeezer, and then it's like not even an issue.
Please stop asking for a reamer.
Yeah, not on this episode. We're not talking about reamers, but yeah. But
God,
also, I'm like,
I didn't even mean it like that. I was just like, wow, man, you're being really perverted today.
But that being said, obviously, I made my stance very clear last week. Being pro lime versus lime juice. I like being reamed, but given that Aesha has gotten the lime juice, and given that that's what the provisions have been, that's what has been accounted for. I'm like, Laura, why are you going through all the limes now that you won't be able to put anything into the garnish, and also the chef won't be able to cook with limes? Stop going through the limes. Use the fucking lime juice, even though it's terrible.
Because you know why she's doing it, so that when the captain passes and say, "Hey, look at you doing all those limes," she say,
Yes, because Chief Stu doesn't like to do. She only like bottle lime. I was Chief Stu once. I only use real lime.
Yeah, I am fully convinced that Laura is a pathological liar. She was never Chief Stew. She never had a restaurant, and
I told you she's never. That's all bullshit. She's just like goes to one of those selfie places, like they showed on Real Housewives of Atlanta this week, where you go and there's like different sets that you take selfies on.
Yeah, it
Look
is
at
like
me,
ridiculous.
roller skating champion of Olympics.
So Aisha's like, bloody hell, it's fucking lime juice. I already told her to use the bottled lime juice because it's way more efficient. Like, why is Laura so obsessed with limes? Does her family own a lime orchard? Does she have stock in a lime company? Does she just love to drive lime scooters around sidewalks?
Is she obsessed with getting bitten by ticks? What is it with this girl and limes?
Does she love
the fan, is she?
Does she love succotash and eating out the lima beans but saying it incorrectly?
So she's like, it's fine. It's literally lime juice. That's annoying. So Luke is telling us bad weather can really affect the tip. We got to be like, hey, look what we're doing over here in this direction. Yeah, you're pretty good at that. Just fucking
I know.
keep your dick in your pants.
Exactly.
Fucking guy. I hate this guy. And you know, that's the thing about recapping. When you already know what's going to happen, it's like every time that person comes up and you still have to even acknowledge their life, you know?
Yeah.
Couldn't we just fucking kill him off? Can we just replace him with 5-head fish? That big dumb fish. All right, every time Luke comes up until the bad part, let's just make him the 5-head fish.
And there's a clarification for people, that is a fish that has a giant, that is the Napoleon fish, not a fish that has 5 different heads, because it sort of sounds like that.
Right, it's that fish that they keep showing that's just like, die. He's way too big to be in the shallow water that he's in, and his forehead's too big, and he's just like, I'm a fish. And then they'll check in every once in a while. It's like, still here, still in the shallow water, Fred.
Still knocking things over. So, so there's like stuff happening. You know, Aesha thanks Harry for putting waters in the fridge, and he's like, well, it was a great fit with Margot, and they high five, and they're sort of cute. And then Sandra is the wife of Renee. Renee is the primary, so she tells Zarina that tonight is the memorial for Renee's mother.
Party! Yes, I can't wait till we get a private yacht and go fucking party with all our friends to talk about my mom who passed. Yes! Flip up!
Seriously, Laura's gonna be like, tonight I do memorial can't. So she basically says that like the mom's favorite dish is arroz con pollo, and Serena's like, that's a rice dish, yes.
No, she's like, what's that? She's like, arroz con pollo, tomahawk. Are you saying tomahawk? Rice and chicken, okay? So rice and. Not Republican cows, only Democrat cows, blue cows are what we're eating now. She's like, for Christ's sake, lady, even I learned how to make this, and I suck at cooking. Figure it out.
Yeah. So Zarina's like, well, I haven't made Cuban food before, so my process is going to be Dougal. At this point, like, I feel like if I were Sandra, I'd just be like, you know what? Never mind. You can just make us a salad. We'll have it when we get to shore.
And she's also going to add in a birthday cake. Okay.
Yeah.
So the guest is Sandra's like, okay, and here's a picture of her. I'm like, well, what does that have to do with anything? You know, now I get her judgment while I'm, doing her dish terribly. Could you face it away? I don't want to have to look at this woman judging me while I'm trying to make her favorite dish because I'm going to do it wrong.
Yeah, especially when I have never made it before or tasted it or have any context about it, but now I have to recreate it.
So now you're telling me that his mother is going to be staring at me, watching me try to learn her recipe off of YouTube? This is humiliating. Can you please face the picture away?
So Zarina needs to call the provisioner because now all of a sudden she needs 10 extra chicken thighs to make this. But the thing is that it's storming. And Mary Elizabeth Mastrantonio is like, no, provisioners are not allowed to leave the dock. There's a monster with jaws out there, and you cannot head into it. So basically, Zarina has to wait until they get to the dock at 7 and hope the provisioners are right there with the chickens. That way she can start cooking it and like have it ready by 8 o'clock.
And she's really worrying me because she's like, well, let me see the cooking time on the Polo. 40 minutes on the Polo. I was like, you're calling it Polo, girl? I'm so afraid to see what comes out of this kitchen. The storm's really bad. Then we see Adam in the mess, and he looks like he's going to barf everywhere. He's miserable. And he's like, I should have taken my tablets, but I forgot because this big, tall, stupid, goofy motherfucker was passing me talking in some language I don't even fucking understand. All right?
Yeah, then Jason's like, Adam, please report to the deck because I'll have to take a dump somewhere. So I need you to look at the steering wheel for a moment. Take the wheel while I let out 3 tomahawk steaks, okay? And he's like...
He's like, I'm on my way. I'm getting sick right now. So he comes to the bridge, and Jason's like, keep watch. I'll go to hit the head. And he's like... So down in the galley, the cake is wobbling because apparently these people get their cake stands from Home Goods too. Can I get a dependable cake stand from Home Goods? I mean, Jesus Christ, you'd think I was trying to tap dance on the thing. You put a couple of cupcakes, it's like,
Oh no.
I get that you were a discount, okay, but you still need to be able to hold a cake.
That is not good cake stand behavior.
It's
you need
not.
to have
Only porcelain
stability.
from now on.
What was it? What sort of cake stand is it?
It's like one of those, it's like ornate, but it's like kind of a screw on top with a really pretty wood. I've really loved like a wood theme. So like wood base and then a different kind of ornate wood carved top. But I guess it was screwed into the wood and it's just like wobbly. I mean, I can see why it's on sale. I also got a salad bowl from there, a big wood salad bowl that was like $40, which I think is really expensive. But the lady was like, it's wood. And I was like, so? Like, wood's literally outside right now. But I paid for it. And then I put salad in it and it smelled like polyurethane, and it leaked once I like
It leaked.
yeah. So anyway, it was a delicious polyurethane salad, though. I do have to say, yeah.
Something is wrong with that.
I don't know why I'm talking about that.
I don't know why a salad bowl. I've never heard of a salad bowl leaking before.
I guess it was.
I think $40 is actually a good price for a wood salad bowl, to be honest.
Well,
I feel like I've seen them and they're
one that leaks.
Not a leaky one. Are you sure it wasn't a cloche?
You never know with me. I'm like, why do things keep spilling out of this salad bowl?
Why is this? It's like, Ronnie, it's a strainer. And it's also not wood. It's just metal. I thought it was metal coated wood.
All right.
So Laura's doing the decor for this party. And she said, tonight we are going to represent Cuba, where I am from. Totally am from there, yes. I love it. And what I love the most about it is that Aesha doesn't like to decorate, so I take all the pride. I will help you not fail in front of those Cuban guests.
So then Adam is still really sick. So Luke's trying to check on him. And Harry's like, so many floors for a sucking seafarer. And then Serena's like waiting for this chicken. She's like, oh my God, the chicken stress is killing me. And you know, Norma's just somewhere in a minivan, like, LOL. You know, that lady's stressing out. I'm just going to stay at the end of this parking lot so she can't see me. I'm going to wait till the boat parks, and I'm going to wait till she comes out on the deck and just squints real hard and paces around real hard. And then right at the last second, I'm going to say, "Toot, toot," and I'm going to come up with the chicken and be the hero. No one cares. God, I'm nameless on this show.
You know, Waiting for This Chicken is actually the first draft of J-Lo's signature song, Waiting for Tonight. Waiting for the chicken. Oh, for you to make arroz con pollo. Waiting for this chicken. Oh.
So cooking time. So they call Adam up to serve, and Luke's like, "Oh my God, so many things can go wrong with bad weather. Docking, decky, seasick. This could be my job on the line." I was like, "Oh, little do you know,
Yes.
little do you know, sir." So the
Same with your libido.
yeah, the fenders go out. Everything's fine. Everyone survives. It's fine, guys.
We see a nighttime turtle, by the way, because since they're moving at nighttime, they have to show nighttime, fish footage. So we see this turtle a lot. As much as we talk about the 5-head fish, the turtle is just trying to do its errands and is like constantly getting caught on camera. The turtle is kind of like a mid-level celebrity, like a Evangeline Lilly type. You know, just like, I'm famous enough to be on TMZ, but not famous enough to endure this sort of scrutiny. So please just go away.
I love that little turtle. He just wants someone to say hi to him. Because he's doing that like sideways thing. First of all, I've never seen such a sprightly turtle. I mean, sea turtles really have energy because land turtles are lazy fucks. Like everybody knows it. We have entire stories about them. Like, oh, the turtle won the race even though it was slow as fuck, which we all know didn't happen because turtles are lazy fucks on Earth. But in the ocean, they're like, yes, I'm a turtle. What's up, everybody? High fives, everybody. High fives.
But you know those turtles, those sea turtles are probably so annoying to talk with because they're probably always humble bragging about all the predators they escaped growing up. They're like, yeah, I remember like waking up on that beach and just like having to just like run into the ocean. Like half my friends were just like eaten and killed. It's terrible. I mean, I made it. I mean, I don't know. I have to like thank God for that. I like literally like I praise God that I made it. I think it's just like a little stronger or something like that.
I think they're
don't
also
know.
assholes because they're always trying to high five you. They're that kind of person because their arms are always out like that. So every time they're swimming, they're like, "Hey, what's up? High fives, what's up?" And fish are like, "We don't fucking have hands." I'm like, "Yeah, you don't, suckers."
They're also always going on smoke breaks because they'll like be talking to a fish like, yeah, so it's just like it was a hard childhood, and I'm like, hold on a second, I gotta go take a smoke, and then go to the surface to get some air, and then come back. Sorry.
They're the only thing under there with arms to smoke. The only people they can smoke with are like octopi.
Whales. Any animal that needs to go to the surface to actually breathe air, that's like their version of a smoking break.
But yeah, but how do whales get the cigarette in their hole?
Well, the cigarette's really just a metaphor for just oxygen, which is ironic.
Well, I guess what we're doing to the environment, it kind of is, right? It's like, yeah, just take a hit of the earth. God, love those chemicals. Okay, so God, I love that turtle is the point. So it's 1 hour and 10 minutes till dinner. Provisions arrive. Sandy, nameless Sandy, who they just call Provision Charter Lady or whatever, shows up and it's like, "Hey, it's me. Anybody want to have some fun repartee?" Nope. Okay, well, just take that cooler full of chicken. Okay, just return that. Love ya. Signed, Sin. All right, well,
Just take the chicken and run, I guess. Well,
hey,
thanks.
me.
You're welcome.
Thank you, me. No, thank you, me. No, thank you, Norma. Norma, you're the best. No, Norma, you're the best.
Hey, I
Oh
got
my God. Now there's three Normas. Talking to this Norma and I'm talking to this Norma. Who am I?
Hey, I was a little lonely today in the rain, so I made some of my famous homemade arroz con pollo. You want some of that? No? Okay. I guess if you'd stayed and talked to me a little bit longer, I could have given it to you to give to a guest.
Well, he talked to you. Listen, I tried to brag about it to a ghost, but she just called me a piece of shit cook and walked away. So that wasn't very fun. You know, I learned that on Google.
Yeah. So now Zarina's like, she's like, here's my process. Step 1, Google. Step 2, pray that it tastes exactly like his mother's. And step 3, go cry in the walk-in fridge. Step 4, then cry because you remember you don't even have a walk-in fridge. You just have a place so you can walk around in next to a
I
fridge.
was going to say, what did you get a walk-in fridge? Yeah. So then they're getting ready for dinner. They all arrive. It's like a big white party type thing. And the guy's like, I tried to take a shower. That shit was crazy. And so I was like, yeah, we were like fighting for our life in there.
Third season in a row with lots of heavy rocking on a boat, you know, because there was also actually was, you know what, this is a really stupid point. Like I'm about to go through like a list of the seasons where boats rocked. So Aisha's like, hello everyone, this is your Arrozo de Polo, right? Did I say that right? Arrozo de Polo? No? Okay. They're like, maybe
like
we should
not one of you
this.
could learn how to say arroz con pollo. Would it be that difficult? Come on, people. So Serena's like, well, it'll be amazing if it's cooked. And then Jason walks in while she's plating, and man, Serena, I really like her, especially after this episode. But man, she just really piles that food on the plate. She's just like, boom. Are they in prison? Why are you slopping it on the plate like that? Make it pretty. Make it into a heart. Something.
Yeah, like I would not say that elegance is really her forte. It really was just like a pile. Although it's definitely an improvement over the bowl of anonymous brown gunk that was on one episode was like a chocolate mousse cake, and then another episode was some sort of savory dish. It was like beef. It was the cinnamon lamb. So,
how do they say, enjoy your meal in Cuba, everyone? They're like, we say, enjoy your meal. So, they approve. They're like, Cuban approved. This is delicious.
Yeah. So, so Zarina's like she's super happy. And so now Laura's talking to Adam. She's like, oh, Adam, you want some nuts? And he's like, I'm good. Yeah, are you nuts enough? Are you nuts enough to have nuts? Do you see what I do? It's wordplay. He's like, yeah, I'm nuts enough. Not really sure what you're getting at here. I really don't want nuts. Is this could be a thing between us, having like nut banter?
I hope you are nuts enough. I hope so. I hope you are nuts enough, Adam.
He's like, what the fuck? And she goes,
This charter, I'm all about who's Adam. Look out of picture. I don't waste my time. I'm trying to see what this thing with Adam is about. I'm trying to give my love and care and see if there's any response.
You want a bed after the charter's over. So, meanwhile, Margot throws something out, and Harry's like, oh, what was that? She's like, oh, it's fabric spray. It smells really good. You know what? I'm so gonna spray your bed now when you're not looking. He's like, oh, she loves me.
You do that? That would be crazy. That would be absolutely insanity. So then Laura's talking to Harry, and she's like,
Marco, you should do something nice for her, a not act of love.
and he's like, I'm going to try it. So then Culver is trying the dinner because he's up flirting, which is, eating protein. It's the way to Culver's heart. Just give Culver a very large tray of protein and a spray tan, and he'll love you forever.
He'll be so happy, and he's like sort of tentative about trying it, oddly enough. And Serena's like, oh, you need to trust the things I put in your mouth. He's like, oh yeah, my mom says the same thing. All right, that's a little creepy.
I wrote, say it again, Mom. We're both idiots. So Harry writes a letter to follow the advice of Laura, who really seems to be winning in all aspects. I would take her advice.
Laura, yes.
And goes to put it under Margot's pillow. And she sees him coming out. And she goes, what the heck was that? That was my room.
Yeah, and he's like, well, you must be seeing things because I went into my room. And she's like, okay, weirdo. So she finds the note, and it says, good night, Miss M. Sleep well. Thanks for making my bed so nice. XOXO Harry. She's like, oh, fuck. I didn't actually spray his bed with the Febreze. I thought I wasn't serious about that. Oh, shit, got to do it right now. So she runs and spritzes his bed.
I really like Harry because he's so sweet and nice. I mean, it's not really glamorous scrubbing toilets, but if I happen to bump into a guy on the way to scrub toilets and we have a nice little flirtatious moment, that keeps it fun and exciting, I guess.
Do I ever want to do anything intimate with him ever in my life? Absolutely not. Absolutely no way, 100%. But it's nice that he thinks of me.
So now it's time for the memorial. So they bring the cake. Well, they're going to do the memorial service thing and then bring the cake. And Jason's like, shall I carry the cake? And Serena's like, everyone wants the cake from a gorgeous man. Do it. Squeeze your buttocks. The only way to carry this cake is to squeeze your buttocks while you hold it in your hand. Do it. Do it.
Oh, if only you were wearing a kimono-inspired jumpsuit right now. The best part about a jumpsuit is jumping on it. Am I right, everyone?
Still hot. I'm still standing up for that kimono jumpsuit that we saw on Below Deck this week, which, by the way, on Project Runway. If you guys don't watch Project Runway, go listen to the recap because it was Below Deck inspired this week, and it was really good. So,
Renee starts doing his memorial, which is actually very lovely. He talks about how his mom, they were basically homeless growing up, and she was his cheerleader and all that. It was very nice. And then they serve this cake, and Aesha just really is so happy that the team came together to pull off this memorial and have a nice moment for the guests. So then elsewhere, less concerned about the memorial is Laura, who is continuing to flirt with Adam, and she goes, "Oh, Adam. Oh my God, I know this perfume. It's Calvin Klein one in a black bottle." He's like, yo, that's pretty good. Because he shows her the black bottle as if she wasn't already in his room looking at what his cologne is and planting this entire flirtation.
Oh, yeah, true. And he's shirtless, and she comes in, and she's all over him and hugging him and not letting him go. And he's like, yeah, I guess that was pretty good. And she goes,
yes, it is because we are meant to be, Adam. I can smell perfumes they sell at Ross. So I understand. I know all men cologne, they smell in Ross dress for less. It's my talent. Do you want to marry me?
He's like, no.
Okay. Do you want to make me pregnant right now?
No.
Are you sure? Just as friend. I have your baby as friend. Make me pregnant as friend. Put your penis inside of me. As friend. As friend.
Yeah, they really are a fairy tale romance. They are meant for each other, because I always said it's about time that we modernize the Cinderella tale. It shouldn't be that Prince Charming finds a glass slipper. It should be that Cinderella finds a bottle of CK1. And that's how we know that they're meant to be together.
But it has to be broken. Just to make it fair, just to keep the fairy tales equal. So Prince Charming's just walking around with a bloody gash in his neck. He's like, oh God. Oh God, please somebody.
It's time for a commercial. It's time.
Hi, I'm Lindsey Graham, the host of Wondery's podcast, American Scandal. We bring to life some of the biggest controversies in U.S. history, events that have shaped who we are as a country and that continue to define the American experience. American Scandal tells marquee stories about American politics, like the break-in at the Watergate Hotel, an event that led to the downfall of a president and raised questions about the future of American democracy. We go behind the scenes looking at devastating financial crimes, like the fraud committed at Enron and Bernie Madoff's Ponzi scheme. And we tell stories of complicated public figures like Edward Snowden and Monica Lewinsky, people who found themselves thrust into the spotlight and who spurred debates about the future of the country. Follow American Scandal wherever you get your podcasts. You can listen ad-free on the Amazon Music or Wondery app.
For a Crappens commercial.
So now Jason's talking to Czarina, and he's like, you're putting out good food. Just keep that food improving. You know what? Czarina, she really put her head down and she was able to shine today. Awesome. Perfect. Amazing.
Just checking on me. A gorgeous man just checked on me. I can do anything. A rose cone polo.
So then Laura, now it's time for late night cleaning, and Laura is on lates, but she's with Harry. Harry's on lates because Adam got taken off lates because he was too incompetent to do it. Like, let's not forget that there's other incompetencies happening on this show. And so Laura is like, if I have to choose one person to be on night shift with, it would be Adam. And I had Adam for 2 charters, and we had a little time together when we could, where I smelled his CK1, and I knew we were fated, and now I don't have that, and the guys wrote it, so we also wrote it, yes, huh?
So it's the final day of charter, and Serena's doing breakfast, and Culver's like, hey, Chevy, what kind of protein you got for me today? And she's like, I've gone through lots of fat eggs. You can have some eggs, because she's practicing poaching the eggs, I guess. And she's just got lined up poached egg mistakes, and he takes, how many eggs does he takes like a good 6 eggs. God bless him.
He has
man,
a boner.
strong.
He has a boner. Also, just steer clear of, you just don't want to be downwind of Culver today either. By the way, just don't be downwind of him. Just stay a healthy distance away, because those eggs are to come back. So then Culver puts his hands on her back, and like as a thank you, like sort of like a pretend massage, and she's like, harder, yeah, strong, beautiful man, rub my back. He's like, what was that, Mom? Oh no. You could have ruined it right now.
You're like, wow, you keep feeding me like that. I'd put a ring on that real quick. She's like, oh, I told my mom I'd be coming back with a husband. I thought it would be the captain. Not you, but you'll do. You'll do, sexy man. So then breakfast is served, and Aesha goes to... Okay, Laura comes in to Aesha, actually, and she's like, oh. And Aisha's like, what's wrong, Laura? She's like, last night, it was so hard for me. It was very hard for me last night. Well, it wasn't that late, was it? It's a long season ahead, Laura. You're gonna have to get used to it. Maybe one charter, we could change nights. Please? Just one time. Change nights, please. Wow, she's really
so manipulative.
Yeah.
She is so crazy. And she's like, I'm very, very tired, which is important because she denies saying she was tired, but she literally says, I'm very, very tired. So she's like a nightmare. Like she is so manipulative, and she is, I don't know. I feel like she lives up to some of the worst stereotypes that have been ever put out there.
So Aisha's like, well, no, Margot's not strong enough on service. Come on, you can do it. I've done it for years and years. Be a yachty now. Be a yachty.
And so, meanwhile, now Serena's feeding a pancake to Culver. And she's like, take that, bitch. Take that. It's like, oh, okay, this is sort of getting out of my Chef Kim fantasy right now. My mom never said that. Oh, yeah, I'll be your mother right now. Oh, God, I don't know how I feel about this right now. Eat that pancake, Culver. Put it in your mouth.
For me, it's personality and laughter with a man, I had an ex-boyfriend that was so boring that I forgot I had him. I would just wake up next to other guys and I would look down at my text messages and be like, oh my God, what the fuck? I just kept forgetting. Culver's definitely a totally different vibe. I mean, he did ask me to ground him the other day, which was a little bit uncomfortable, but he's not forgettable. So there's that.
I love Zarina's backstory is that she was just accidentally cheating on her boyfriend because he was so forgettable. So now Laura, who has not gotten her way, goes up to Margot and she's like, "Oh, Aesha's so mean to me, and I don't understand why." I mean, Aesha was literally not mean. Aesha was like, "No, you can't change. This is the rule." And Marco's like, "Oh, really? Why is she so mean?" And she goes, "Oh, I said night shifts are really hard. Can I change for one sweet little tartar just for me to recover? Fingers so tired from squeezing limes." And she said no.
And Laura's like, I was chief's too, but I'm not yachty, according to Aesha. We're not going to work normally after that. Time to become yachty now, I guess. So she pats all by herself, and then now it's Laura and Aesha again. And so Laura's like, "So is there anything I can do to help you? Maybe, get some fake lime juice to trick people into thinking that you're giving them good service or something like this?"
And she's like, "No, not at the moment. Do you want to have a chat about before because you want to change because you're tired?" "No, I never say I'm tired." She's like, "No, you definitely said I'm tired." "No, I never said. I said I have tires on my car, but I never said I'm tired."
Definitely said tired. I love that she just stands there and is like, "Yes, you did. No, yes, you did. No, I did not say tired. You definitely said tired. No, I didn't."
They literally show her saying, "I'm very, very tired."
It says 10 minutes earlier, "Last night killed me. It was so hard. I'm very, very tired."
So Aisha's like, "I don't want to change because at the moment, especially because I don't feel very comfortable that Margot can do service." And Laura's like, "Oh, I was never meant Margot, honey." And she goes, "Well, who else would do it?" And she's like, "You?" Was she asking Aisha to do lates?
Yes.
So she could run dinner service?
Yeah. And Aisha's like, I'm the chief stew, so I have to be here for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I can't work that way. I'm actually blown away. I've never seen a request like this, and I don't know what fucking planet she's on.
But whatever planet it is, I believe it's shaped like a lime. Laura is just so crazy. Like, I'm sorry. Like this is like I don't even know what to say about
see on this show. I mean, it's really until we get later, because I know it's coming later, so I know how awful this sounds. But it is what you want to see on this show, and until anything happens in the next 5 minutes, when it does, I'm thinking, wow, she's doing such a great job at this role. Like, she's such an asshole, but she's doing this like pouty. I just want to do limes.
Yes,
this is all I want. Like, she is so hilarious to me, and I'm like, she's pulling this off perfectly. This role, and the then thing it all goes to shit.
Yeah, but like, it's funny because I at the outside of the show, in full transparency, I was like, you know what? She doesn't get the hint, but like, I also appreciate that, when Luke was like, "I'm not interested in you," that she didn't go like trying to like win him back or to, like, throw herself at him. She just like, you know what? Onwards and upwards. I was like, yeah. But then like, I was like, oh no, no, this is terrible. But that's for later. But then with this stuff, I'm like, what I started to say before was she's like the full stereotype of like a Lifetime movie. When you see like a Lifetime movie and they have people who are like this on it, you're like, those people don't really exist in real life. And now you see Laura, and she is literally like every villain in a Lifetime movie.
Yeah.
Lady villain, I should say.
To what you were saying earlier about how she's just like gave up so easy, because it is like, well, why is she going so hard for Adam? Why didn't she maintain that kind of deal with Luke, where it probably would have been more appropriate, because at least it would have been a more even playing field. And I think that's the problem with it, that it would have been more of an even playing field. It's like he mocked her to her face. You know, it's like he had sex with her, mocked her to her face, and then kind of like just dumped on her in front of people. Whereas this other guy, she can almost be she can be the aggressor and she can be the gross one. And that's kind of the turn off. That's kind of the turn on in the situation for her, is being the aggressor. It's disturbing. Yeah. This whole episode is fucking disturbing.
Laura is so disturbing. Like at a certain point, like which happens roughly around now in the episode, she just goes from being kind of like this like hilariously manipulative person to just like disturbing. Like it's like, oh wow, like truly. Somewhere along the way she learned that these are the things she has to do to get by and go get on in life. And I'm like, that's just sad.
So Aesha's like, what's next? Is she going to ask Jason if she can drive the boat and he can get down and put on a skirt?
Yes, please. Jason, could I drive boat just for a little bit?
And Jason, he comes down in a skirt. He's like, just wanted to help out. I said I was needed in the skirt.
I really liked her initiative, so I thought I'd be a team player and put on this skirt.
So Laura's like,
but please, don't say I'm not real yachty, please.
Well, you did ask to change shifts after you had said you were tired. And she's like,
no, I did not say tired.
Okay, you're going to be fine. Are we good now?
I'm good.
Are you tired?
I did not say I'm tired.
Limey McLimerson, are you fatigued?
No, I am not tired whatsoever.
All right, well, you're back on shift soon, so please be on time. I'm sorry, time.
So now everyone has to change into whites, and Luca's massaging Margot. And she's like, oh, that feels really nice. And he goes like, yeah, you know what else feels really nice? She goes, what? Getting the dirty. Hey, get the dirtiness out of your mind. I'm like, you didn't even give her a chance to, you didn't even do your gross joke properly.
And she's like, I knew you were going to say something inappropriate. Save it for tonight. All that naughtiness. And he's like, all right, well, let's see if we can make it happen. If I can get you to yourself, which doesn't happen very often. And she's like, why? Because of Harry? Yeah, I know. So I was like, oh, come on. Stop falling for the fucking asshole guy. Sure, Harry's goofy, but I don't know. Luke's Luke, you know?
Luke's disgusting.
You don't always have to choose one, I guess, is what I'm saying. You know what I mean? You could just say no. You could just not choose anybody. That's okay, too.
But to be fair, she hasn't chosen anyone. She's just receiving a massage and just responding to questions.
Right, but she talks about how she's like, then there's a nice guy and he's too nice, but then there's the jerk guy and he's too much of a jerk. Yeah, so get what you deserve, which is what you want, It's like guys I don't know, I feel like it's a pressure on this show specifically to always be in a romantic. There always has to be like a romantic thing going on. I think there's like a pressure on this show. And I think, I saw the Barbie movie. I choose me. That's what I'm saying.
I think that you're allowed to weigh your romantic options and
of course.
not be penalized for it. Yeah.
So I'm not saying she's not.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying you're saying that, but I'm just saying that she's allowed to be like, is this one? She's allowed to Goldilocks it for a little bit there. So Renee, the guests all.
Well, I'm allowed to give my anti-advice, and my anti-advice is it's okay to just tell them both to fuck off.
Yes, so please do. Actually, please tell them to fuck off, please. So the guests are now finally all leaving, and Renee is thanking everyone, and he's like, all right, guys. He's like, I've got 2 envelopes, okay? The first one is what you earned. And the second one, got a little challenge for you, Cap. We're going to do an arm wrestling contest. So they arm wrestle. And then, and Renee wins. There's some back and forth. And Jason's like, oh, now he has an arm for arm wrestling. But you'll see, I saw how to take control. And then I realized you got to let the primary win. So let him take a pick. At least that's what I'll say. Oh. So,
you're like, oh my God, Renee, you won! The little turtles in the water. It's like, hey, high five! Yeah, anybody? Anybody gonna high five me? Come on. Anybody up there? Come on.
Anybody? Come on, somebody high five me, baby. Jennifer Aiden. It's a Jennifer Aiden turtle. You're great, baby. You're doing great. So great, baby. High five.
So now it's tip meeting, and Laura immediately goes and plops down right next to Adam, and she's like,
Oh, you waited for me.
God.
Not a second wasted with her. So Adam's like, so where do you think we're going out to tonight? Your room. He's like, no, dummy. Like going out in Australia to party. She's like, oh, your room, CK1. So now we find out the tip. The tip is $25,000. So they're like, this gets a big Aesha, like, oh my God.
And she's like, that's the biggest tip ever. I thought it would be $10 each. I was like, geez, you had no faith in Renee? Was it the cake and was it the face and the cake? What was it? Why are you?
It probably was trying to push tomahawk onto 3 people who don't eat red meat.
Was it because he signed your email up to his solar subscription?
I think that's what it was. They put a solar panel on the top of the cruise, the top of the boat. They're like, well, we'll support that.
So the helmet goes to Adam. The disco helmet of stupidity goes to Adam for being a deckhand who gets seasick. And the captain's like, I hope this gives you sea legs. You're done puking now, right? That's not going to help. And next time you're having an emergency at sea and you have someone unable to help because they're puking, I mean, come on. I think you just we're going to have to just have a casting call for this entire season pretty soon.
I know. He's like, yeah, don't puke in the helmet. So Aisha's like, oh, it looks good on him. And Laura goes,
everything looks good on him, especially CK1, because that's what we are. We are two become one, like Spice Girl, but in scent form.
So now it's time to get ready to go out. Everyone's getting dressed. Time to go out. It's going to be a great night of going out. Nothing could possibly go wrong. So Margot's like, hey, ding-dongs, you ready to go out? And Harry is like, hi, you look great. And they're all ready. They don't even... I just have to assume that Laura was an hour late and they just were sick of showing Laura being late again because there's no way she was ready on time.
So, of course, Adam is stuck right in between her because she like shoves herself in right next to Adam and he's wearing that dumb disco helmet. And then Serena's on the other side lifting her leg and she's like, you're lucky I'm wearing panties. And Laura's like,
I'm not.
and Adam's just like miserable in his helmet. Like, Jesus fucking Christ. I'd rather be stuck next to the big tall goofy guy who don't speak English.
I not wear panties. I just wear scent of CK1 and nether regions.
So they go to the club and Laura's like,
Adam, you can't stop looking at my butt.
he's like, no, I was literally just looking for pennies on the floor. Anything to not look at you right now.
So the waiter comes over like he has waited on every cast of Below Deck and is sick of their shit. Okay, it's this little bleached blonde guy. He's like, hi, everybody. Guess what you're getting today? A family-style banquet. Okay, your first course is this. Your second course is that. Nobody likes you here. Shut the fuck up and eat what I bring you. Thank you. Bye.
So Zarina's asking Adam. Zarina and Adam go to smoke a cigarette. And Zarina's asking Adam how like he feels about Laura being all over him. And he's like, yeah, she's got to chill out a bit. You know, it's like she's acting like me the first time I saw Kangaroo Jack, like way too excited and way too into it, you know? And Zarina's like, so you're not into it? Or would you say you're sort of like a vegetarian being served tomahawk, just not quite into it?
And he's like, nah, I don't like it. And she says,
Well, I feel like you need to just tell her properly. You're just leading her on, you know?
and he goes, but I have told her. It doesn't work. And she's like,
But you have to say, I just want to be friends.
he's like, I did say that. And she's like,
I know girls like Laura because she's such a beautiful woman. She's not used to people saying no to her. Babe, she's just not that into you, right? She's just not that into you. Then before you know it, they've taken over your life, bought the exact same car you have, dyed their hair and cut it to look just like you, and stolen your husband right out from under you.
sorry, there's a commercial. It's like a full lifetime.
I know, seriously. Next thing you know, Cameron Matheson is in danger. So Luke is now talking to Aesha, And he's like, everything that's going on, I love it. Like, thank fuck you took one for the team. Because he's talking about Adam, like basically being stuck with Laura. Because
Laura's
Luke is so
all
happy.
over Laura. Laura's like,
You want me to feed you? Choo, 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 choo.
and Luke's like, yes, thank God.
Because now we can focus on Margot. He's like, I take full responsibility for what happened with Laura. I mean, I was drunk and dumb, and I think with my dick. I'm like, just because you say that does not exonerate anything. Like it's like this idea of like, I'm gonna take this sort of casual responsibility while I'm currently drunk, and that means that my behavior is okay because I think with my dick. And Aesha goes, like I'm not so into this reasoning.
And we cut to the makeout and the robe, and then him being like, get in the shower, and then fucking in the shower. So then we go to Laura and Adam, and she's like,
Shall we just go onto another yacht?
and he's like, come on, why don't you just want to be friends, man? And she's like,
I want someone to be my friend, and then the rest just comes natural.
Like, yeah, and what if it never turns into that? Like, what if it just is like Kangaroo Jack and the two guys that go to Australia with him? They just stay as friends at the end of the movie. You know what I'm saying?
You will never do that with me? Mine. You only jack with kangaroo? You want me to be kangaroo and jack you? I jack you like kangaroo.
Jack, you like kangaroo. Whoa, that got real weird there, Laura. I'm definitely not into it. This is just going to complicate and kind of creep out everything. So I'd rather just stay friends with her. Please stop talking about Jack and off a kangaroo.
What is wrong with me? What is wrong with me? I don't have pouch. You want me to have pouch? Look.
You want me to box?
My napkin pouch. Look, you can put things. Do you have kid? You put kid in my pouch.
I'm not going to lie. This is turning me on a little bit. But no, it's going to be too weird. It's too weird. No. There's nothing wrong with you. I like you as you're a human. I don't need you to be a kangaroo.
Then what's wrong with you then?
Nothing. I just want you to be my friend. That's all.
and he's like, whoa, here we go, bro. You know what? I'm just trying to let Laura down easy, but she's just a habitual line stepper. All right. She's just going to like line step it. And like, I don't know what else to do. And she's like,
I'm extra. I know. Does that make you intimidate? Does intimidate make you hard? Do it. Do it.
Do I turn you on when I hop around club?
And then by the way, my new favorite B-roll sea creature. They just cut to a cranky ass moray eel down there.
Old ass fish. What was this fish?
It was a moray eel. This eel's like, it's what? Like someone just woke up this eel like, the fuck you just wake me up for?
This
okay, I
is
was
a
sleeping in
fish.
the
This was in a Super Mario. Do you remember this level where you had to deal with this huge fucking fish? Oh my God. It was one of the open world ones. It was the Mario Odyssey is what it is. And they had this eel and you're like, oh my God, it's the biggest, scariest thing. But then it comes by and it's just like, fucking Mario. God. Still got the mustache,
bitches.
huh? Fucking kids and their mustaches.
It's like, is that fucking 5-head fish gone? Trying to make groceries.
I had to. I
had
wrote
to
it
do a
down too. I
report.
put ugly old fish coming from under rock looking around like, what the fuck?
I did a report on moray eels in 5th grade. I had to do like a diorama. And I was like very proud of it because basically I made like a clay moray eel and then I put it in the shoebox, and I hung it with fishing wire, like that's like very, not fishing wire, but like that, like blue, very thin, translucent wire. I think it's fishing wire. And then I put like blue, like cellophane around the front of the box. So it looked like it was underwater and it also hid the wire. So it looked like my moray eel was floating. And I was so proud of it to this day.
Blue on blue batch.
Blue on blue batch. But also I learned that moray eels are vicious little fuckers. And so that one coming out was like, all right, what the fuck is going on at this coral reef?
So he probably sensed Laura. He was like, oh, God.
Oh, is my ex here?
Kangaroo role playing? I can't. So back to eating food. Laura's like rubbing his arm. Like she really is being disgusting at this point. Like he's blatantly said multiple times now, stop. and she's just getting grosser and grosser. So then Harry tells Margot, he's like, should we go look at the water? Water's hilarious. And she's like, I'm wasted. Don't do that. Because he's doing like the okay sign with his hands. And she's like, don't do that with your hands. I don't even want to see that. I'm like that wasted right now. Like, I'm like, it's just giving me nauseous. Just give me a moment. Okay.
I know. And he's like, really? Because guess what? You ever go scuba diving? This means okay in scuba diving. I'm like, I think that means okay universally. He's like, thumbs up. You know what thumbs up means in scuba diving? It also means okay.
Well, it also got taken over by white supremacy groups for whatever reason. I was like, what the fuck? How did you steal the okay sign? And why is that okay? Like, why haven't we... things? Because it's a natural thing to do it. And then I'm like, oh my God. Like even right now, I just did it on the video. And I'm like, oh my God, I can't do that. Thank you. Thanks so much for stealing that from us, you hateful fucking bigots, while we're at it. Give it back.
Yeah, fuck the white supremacists, just in general. I think there's never a bad time to say fuck white supremacists. Yeah. And the things that they co-opt, like fucking the OK symbol and tiki torches and Hawaiian shirts. Not that I'm going around trying to have like a
Hawaiian shirts. What's that?
Remember Charlotte's? I think it was. Oh no, Tiki Torches was Charlottesville.
I
Hawaiian
remember
shirts.
the
There was a small moment with Hawaiian shirts. I don't think they fully stole Hawaiian shirts, but just know, everyone,
God,
if you ever see me in a Hawaiian shirt, just know I'm not supporting white nationalism because that shit is bullshit.
I mean,
take it back.
That was
yeah, guys. Segment. Oh, here you can tell we're getting into the serious stuff because we're winding ourselves up. So, so Margot's like, no, I'm like really nauseous. I'm like really, really wasted, And
he's like, okay. So he gives her the signal again and laughs.
And this is where she's like, Harry can be a little much. Like right now he feels like an annoying little brother to me. I mean, it's a turnoff to me when someone is like all over me. Like I don't want the guy who's aggressive and an asshole. And then I'm like, okay, I'll try the nice guy. And then the nice guy's too nice. So I'm like, okay, I guess I'll do the asshole. And this is, to your point, like, don't do any of them.
Yeah, choose nothing. Choose you, Barbie. That's what I'm saying. So then Margot very clearly says, I'm blacking out right now. And so Harry's like, have some water. And she goes, I know, that's what I'm saying about it. So she does. She drinks some water. And Luke sees this, and then he just grabs a beer and shakes it up and then chugs it and then takes off his shirt and starts like strip dancing on the rails of the restaurant.
But no one else in this place is shirtless, but this guy is this piece of shit. So they're just like dancing and other stuff. Zarina and Culver are like getting all up close on each other, and Luke is all up on Margot, but it's just like dancing. And now they all go to the vans, and Luke has stolen a centerpiece from the restaurant, which is really obnoxious, especially because it's like you work in service, and I don't think you would appreciate someone just walking off with something from the boat yourself, and so you're just going to steal from a restaurant. And it's a big ass centerpiece with a big ass porcelain thing. So he's stolen that and he has it over his shoulder.
Yeah. And Adam's like, oh my God, he stole the plant. Like, I haven't seen something like that since junior high. And he's old too, right?
He's got to be like 26. God, he's so old. So then Margot goes into the van with Luke, and Harry's in a different van. And Harry's like, I don't understand. Every time Margot gets pissed, she dances with Luke. And then when she's not pissed, she tries to hook up with me. I'm like, I don't think she's trying to hook up with you. I think she was bored, and she's allowed to dance with whoever she wants when she's pissed, to be honest.
And Adam's like, well, it's fine, bro. She's not going to make out with him. Don't worry. And then Laura gets in and immediately lies down on Adam. It's like, oh my God, Jesus.
It's like, oh, I forgot about her.
So then Aesha is in the van with Culver and Serena in her seat. And then behind them is Margot and what's his buzz, this asshole, Luke. So Aesha's like, oh, I just want chicken noodles. Because she's wasted. And Serena's like, we're going to get you some chicken noodles, honey. Best you've ever had. And Luke's in the back and he's like staring at Margot's passed out face. And Aesha sees it, and she's like, no copies for you, Luke. And he goes, I know. And she's like, you should not be saying that, or she's there. And he goes, you're the one who fucking said it. And Serena's like, yeah, later. I fucking agree with her. Huh?
Because he didn't say I know, he said later. Like, I'll have the gobbies later. And
oh, like, no. I thought he said I know.
No. So they're like, no, you shouldn't be saying that. Like, not at all, you know? And I love this.
Confused.
And this was great because Aesha is wasted, but like her spidey sense, even being wasted, her spidey sense, she's like, something is like not right here. So she's already like, no, you can't do this. And Zarina also was like, you know, I agree with her. And she's like, you should be putting her to bed. So now they get back to the yacht, and Aesha just is like, now she's sort of like alert, and she's just is standing around. She's gonna like chaperone Margot, make sure Margot
I have
gets
to point
bed.
this part out too. I know this is like a Zapruder film, but that I've already fucked up the first part of. But I just have to point this out because when Serena's like, yeah, I agree with her, and Aesha says, yeah, you should be putting her to bed. Luke puts his face down in Margot's again, and he goes, can I put you to bed? And she's like, mm-hmm. And he goes, exactly.
It's like repulsive. So then Luke is like, you want to cuddle with me a little bit? And then he's like saying this as they're trying to get on the boat, and they're like, mm-mm. And then he has like the planter, and he drops it on the dock, so it like shatters. So he's like, just on top of everything else, he's also, not only did he steal this planter, he's also destructive, just showing the different layers of his like total fuckery behavior. I mean, this is the least of the infractions. So he drops it and then leaves
it, of course. And they're shit, you know, everyone's shit faced, like literally stumbling up. And so Aesha walks Margot in, and Culver, of course, is like, I'm taking this plant to the trash can. Thank you, Mommy. I did do it for you. He's just hearing in his voice, you're a good boy. You're going to get some Dutch babies, baby.
I know.
I'm doing it for you.
He really thinks he's going to get Dutch baby. He's like, I just don't want to pop tires, this and that. I don't want to pop tires, this and that.
Yeah. So then Aesha on the dock. Well, I guess they do have tires driving up the dock. So then Aesha's like, I don't want to see any drunkenness being taken advantage of, so I want to see you get into bed safely. Do you need water? She's like, yeah. She goes, I'll be back with some water. And she's like, okay, thanks. So then Luke is suddenly there behind Aesha, and he's shirtless. And she's like, well, you materialized out of nowhere. And he's like, let's have a jacuzzi.
She goes, no, let us change. And then Laura's like, I don't want jacuzzi. And then Aesha is like, I just saw the way Luke was looking at you. Margot was like, I don't want jacuzzi, not Laura. And Aisha's like, I just saw the way Luke was looking at you, and I'm feeling very protective. And Margot's like, well, I'm glad you're here. I don't want to go to the jacuzzi. I want to go to bed. All I want is water and bed. No Luke. So she's just like in bed. And then Aesha just leaves her.
Well, she goes, she's like, I love you, good night. So she goes to get food or something. And then we cut to Serena and Culver flirting. And all this is, by the way, we see what Luke's doing. Luke has gotten in the hot tub in his underwear. No one comes. So he gets out, and he's stumbling all over the boat and going to the bathroom. Meanwhile, Serena and Culver are flirting, and they almost kissed. And Harry's like, what's going on, everybody?
Like, oh, fucking Harry.
And she's like, come on, you interrupted one decent kissing moment. And he goes, all right, then you guys should kiss. So they do have like a little kiss.
It was kind of cute. So now Luke is like, let's go party upstairs. And he's like drunk. He's naked in a towel. And he's just like ambling. His butt is out. He's going through the hallways. And then the alarm goes off, and the boat loses all power, which is creepy as fuck, because at this point we've seen previews of a door slamming. And I personally thought this whole thing from the past few weeks that we've seen this door slamming preview was leading up to some sort of fight. But now we sort of get a sense of what's happening on this episode. And then when the lights go out, I just am like starting to feel like totally uneasy by this whole situation.
Because immediately, I mean, the lights go out, and immediately he U-turns and stops going up to because he's just told Laura, let's go upstairs, right? So he's just U-turned away and goes right to Margot's room in the dark and starts crawling on top of her. And the producers, thank God, caught this and have the cameras on and a light. And they're like, Luke, get out of there. And he won't. He's like, gets in anyway. And so the producer comes in and is like slapping him on the back. And Luke goes, thank you very much. Thank you very much. You can go. You can go.
Yeah, he's like, no, you got to get down.
Yeah, he goes, she wants to go to bed. And he's like, Margot, are you okay? And like, he's trying to like get consent, quote unquote, by saying like, oh, really? Margot, are you okay with this? And it's like, she can't consent. She's shit-faced.
She's wasted.
She's blackout drunk, and she's told you that multiple times, dude. The fuck out of there.
Exactly. And she's saying like, yeah, it's sleepy time, which is her sort of like uncomfortably or trying to politely be like, don't want to do this. And Luke's like, are you okay? And she's like, yeah. And then he's like, are you a 10 out of 10 or a 9 out of 10? Which I'm not even really sure what he was implying there, I guess in terms of wastedness.
He's saying like, are you okay? Okay. Or are you, oh yeah, I see what you're saying.
I don't know. I honestly don't know.
Do you need, I thought he was taking it as like, are you for sure okay? Like, you're definitely, I was taking it as like, you're definitely okay with me being here so I can make them get the fuck out of your room, is how I was taking it. Which
I wasn't, it could have been all of,
gross.
It probably was more likely that. I'm not sure what it was, but the point was that like he needed to get out of there. And you have the producers also saying like, get out of the bed, you know? So finally he like gets out of the bed and then the power comes back on. And then he's like, can you fuck off for a second to the production? And then he's like, he's fully naked now. He's not even in his towel. He's just naked. He just slams the door on the producers. So now the producers are mad. I mean, before they were mad, but now they're really mad. And they're like, come on, like you got to open it. You got to open this door. And Luke is getting really belligerent. And finally he just like opens the door and he storms out naked. He's like, Jesus Christ, mates. And he goes down the hallway, and Aisha's coming back down the hallway. She's coming back from the galley where she went to get her noodles. And she's like, dude. And they bleep out what he says, but I kind of imagine that he said cut fitness, right?
He says, fuck them.
Oh.
And then she goes to
it just it seemed based on his character that he would say cut fitness to Aisha.
No, he didn't go that far, thank God. But he just was like, fuck them, and then slams his door, and that's the end of episode 6. Dun, dun, dun.
So yeah, I was positively rattled by this. I could not actually believe how much I was rattled at this. I was rattled by the fact that it was so egregious and so incredibly wrong. But also, you know, I was like, God, you know, all the people who don't have a production crew there to intervene, it kind of broke my heart. Like it was just really terrible.
Yeah, and seeing the reality of it and how real it is, you know,
how quick it happens
when it gets like that. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Fucking crazy. Well, we'll be talking about the aftermath of all of this in the next recap. So check back for that. Thank you guys for being here. We'll talk to you in a couple of Mondays over on over on Crappy Hour on Instagram Live every other Monday, 5:30 p.m. Pacific and 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We will see you later. We're going to go record this other episode. Okay?
All right,
so we'll see you over
everyone.
there. Bye. Oh, gotta say ending. Bye.
Watch What Crappens would like to thank its premium sponsors. Ain't no thing like Allison King.
Ashley Savoni, she don't take no baloney.
She's not just a Sheila, she's a Daniela. Itchels. Aaron McNicholas, she don't miss no trickolas.
She's never scary, it's the Green Fairy.
Jamie, she has no last namey.
Hava Nagila Weber. Know your worth with Jason Kurth.
Sip some scotch with Jessica Trotch.
She's a little bit loony. Junie, she's always supplying, it's Kelly Ryan.
Kristen the Piston Anderson.
You're never alone with Lacey Monteleone.
Let's give a kisserino to Lisa Lino. Megan Berg, you can't have a burger without the Berg. Ruru LaRue.
The Bay Area Betches.
And our super premium sponsors.
Somebody get us 10 cc's of Betsy MD.
We're taking the gold with Brenda Silva.
Let's get real with Caitlin O'Neill.
Don't get salty with Christine Pepper. Can't have a meal without the Emily Sides.
Nobody holds a candle to Jamie Kendall.
She's not harsh, she's Jill Hirsch.
My favorite Murdo, Karen McMurdo.
We love him madly, it's Kyle Pod Shadley.
Let's go on a bender with Lauren Fender. We want to hang with Liz Lang. The incredible edible Matthews sisters. Nancy Cease and Desisto.
Give him hell, Miss Noel.
She's the queen bee, it's Sarah Lemke.
Shannon, out of a cannon, Anthony. Let's take off with Tamla Plain.
She ain't no shrinking Violet Kuchar. We love you guys.
Hey, Prime members, you can listen to Watch What Crappens ad-free on Amazon Music. Download the Amazon Music app today. Or you can listen ad-free with Wondery Plus in Apple Podcasts. Before you go, tell us about yourself by completing a short survey at Wondery.